What's up, Michigan? Welcome back to another installment of In the Dugout, where literally we were almost talking with this week's guest in the dugout. He's in the press box instead, so maybe we'll rename the show for this week. But my name is Lauren Plant. This podcast is sponsored by our friends with the Michigan High School Baseball Coaches Association. All season long, I'm afforded the opportunity to have a chat with one of the great baseball coaches here in the great state of Michigan. Today, we head back out towards the west side of the state, Kalamazoo to be exact, as we welcome in the head coach from Kalamazoo Central, Scott Spada. Coach, thanks for joining me in the dugout.
No problem. It's my pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, and just a little inside baseball. It took us a little while to get this to happen, and so he has been very generous with his time, and we appreciate him being here. So, and speaking of time, you have spent a quarter of a century, Coach, as the head coach at Kalamazoo Central. What keeps you coming back year after year?
Well, I think it's just the atmosphere of the players and the coaches and the camaraderie that you get, and being on the ball diamond day after day, and just the family that you develop through the baseball family.
Yeah, absolutely. And over 400 wins means you've had a lot of support. Can you talk about the Maroon Giant supporters in the community and what they mean to you and your program?
Well, the community has been everything for us. When I first started at Kalamazoo Central, we had kind of a skeleton crew of a booster club. We got some really great parents early in my career. Jim Hess, Rick Atkins, Rich Schoolmaster, Ron Winters, just to name a few, Mary Van Streen, some former booster club presidents and stuff that really stepped up and laid the foundation and the groundwork for what we were trying to develop at Kalamazoo Central as far as facility and tradition.
Right on. And if I can ask you, obviously you couldn't have done it without some really outstanding talent. You've had the opportunity to coach, for those who don't know, some really great players, guys who've even gone on to pro ball, correct?
That is correct. We've had Kevin Hess, Andrew Hess, both got drafted by the Detroit Tigers. R.C. Dickerson played in our program. He played pro ball for a little bit up in Traverse City. We've also had a few other Division I athletes. Currently, we have Avery Thielman, that's at Western Michigan University. I had the opportunity to coach Zach Fish for the first 2 years of his high school career. He ended up at Gull Lake High School when he graduated, and then went to Oklahoma State, played pro ball. So we've definitely had our hands on some very talented players around here.
All right. Well, where did you grow up, and how did you get into baseball?
I grew up in Grosse Pointe. I went to Grosse Pointe North High School, got into baseball at a young age through my father, who was the old high school baseball coach at Notre Dame High School in Harper Woods.
All right, and you went on to play college baseball, I believe, at Western Michigan, right?
That is correct. Excuse me, I played for Michigan Baseball Hall of Fame inductee this year, Fred Decker, in my 4 years at Western Michigan University, and had learned a wealth of my baseball knowledge from him, both through his tutelage as a coach as well as through a teacher in the baseball coaching technique class that I took from him at Western.
So when you were in college, were you dead set on getting into the coaching ranks?
Yes, in football. I thought I was going to be a head football coach. But
Wow.
that didn't work out. So we ended up doing baseball, and it's been great. I'm glad that it went this way. I coached football for 7 years at the high school level and another 7 or 8 years at the middle school level. But baseball really ended up being something that became my true passion and true love of coaching. So in college, I knew this was something that I wanted to do once I became a college baseball player. Just wanted to try to get my athletes to experience some of the things that I was able to experience as a college baseball player.
So what was your coaching journey experience like? How did you end up at Kalamazoo Central?
I ended up at Kalamazoo Central because a friend of mine named Pete Gallagher, who was a teammate of mine at Western Michigan University, ended up getting this job as the head coach. We both applied for a couple jobs in the area. He got an interview here, I didn't. It was time to hire an assistant coach, and he said, well, what about Scott Spada, the other guy that interviewed? And they said, we don't know who he is. He didn't interview here. So maybe that should have been my first red flag that I should have ran, but I didn't. So I stuck around, and I was his assistant that first year. And after 1 year, he ended up going back to Detroit, started coaching at KPAC, and then moved to Clarkston. And 25 years later, I'm still here.
Yep.
So I've actually been in this program for 26 years, 25 as the head coach.
Right on. So obviously enjoying your time there quite a bit. And, there are Pistons and Wolverine fans who certainly know all about Isaiah Livers. He played baseball for you for 3 years, right? Great athlete.
Great athlete. One of the top 3 center fielders that we've ever had defensively. Probably one of the top 5 fastest kids we ever had. And probably one of the top number 1 athletes that we ever had. Top 1 or 2 athletes overall that we had in our program. He was a definite joy to coach, and we missed him his senior year, but it was understandable why he didn't play baseball that year. So he had bigger and better opportunities down the pipeline, so getting himself in shape for U of M was A1A priority that spring, and obviously it panned out pretty good for him.
No doubt. He ended up winning Mr. Basketball here in the state of Michigan, and do you get a chance to still connect with him from time to time?
Yes, we do. We definitely have a text thread. We still keep in touch.
Right on.
I like to watch on TV. So I'll let him know once in a while he has a good game. I'll just, hey, nice pass. He throws that baseball pass down there or something again.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, we keep in touch a few times a year. So he's definitely a special dude.
Well, you mentioned athletes, and, when we talk about baseball in the state of Michigan, obviously it's very healthy right now. Great baseball being played all over the state. Can you talk about the competition level in your area? I mean, your district alone, such good baseball in your region.
Yeah, I mean, if you expand to our region, it's crazy. In our district alone, we have Portage Central, Portage Northern, Matawan, us. Sometimes Gull Lake gets thrown in. Sometimes St. Joe gets thrown in. As soon as we get out of our district, then we're facing people like Battle Creek, Lakeview.
Right.
Grand Ledge. It's really difficult. We've had just outstanding talent in our league for years with Stevensville Lakeshore, Battle Creek, Lakeview, the Portages and Matawans, and even Niles has had some teams back in the day that were in here that were outstanding. Gull Lake, it's just really competitive week in and week out with our conference schedule, and we've challenged ourselves in my entire career with playing extremely difficult non-league competition as well. This year we have Parchment, Vicksburg, Jackson Lumen Christi, Hackett, all teams right there that are already ranked in the state that are non-league games. So we challenge ourselves, even if they're a little smaller school, it doesn't make a difference. There's good baseball. Waterville Elite's on our schedule as well. They're a small school. They got a great coach, great program. We like playing people like that. So a couple of other non-league games this year. We're going to go match up in a tournament up at Cornerstone with Olivet, who had an outstanding year last year and is having an even better year this year. And on the other end of that bracket is Brighton and Grand Ledge. So everywhere we're turning. Canton, we go play them every year. There's just somebody waiting to take you down, so you got to have your A game ready every single day.
Yeah, I respect you for doing that, and it's all about getting ready for the end of the season so those guys are battle-tested and prepared when it matters most, because one of the hardest things to do is try and run the table in the baseball playoffs, because all it takes is one bad day, and your season's over and you're going home. So you got to go on a run. You got to play as many good teams as possible. Talk about the team this season, how you're doing, what expectations do the guys set for themselves?
Well, this year we have a lot of high expectations as a group. We returned 11 players from last year's team, including 7 seniors. We brought on a new senior this year, so we have a total of 8 seniors. A lot of leadership. Even some of the juniors and sophomores, 2 of the sophomores have been around since they were freshmen, as well as a couple of the juniors. So we have a lot of depth as far as at our positions as well. And we also have a lot of leadership, and we're a veteran team, so that helps us a lot. We have practice right now. We're about to start. My assistant coaches are rolling in because they come from another school. I can see them out there. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they haven't laid eyes on me yet. So they know what they need to do. When you have a young squad, you may not be able to do something like that. But this year, we're taking care of business. We started out. We won our first 7, and we hit a little stretch where we had some tough teams with Gull Lake and Portage Central. Jackson Lumen Christi, Otsego played us tough. So right now we're 10-6. We got rained out on Monday and then canceled today against Harper Creek. So we were kind of anxious to be able to play today and couldn't get those in. So tomorrow we're back in action against Stevensville Lakeshore. So that's going to definitely be a major test. And then after Stevensville Lakeshore, I got Canton coming into town with my buddy Mark Bloomshield's squad.
Yes,
so
sir.
Every year that's
Oh, and what a perfect segue as we get into this year's Michigan High School Coaches Association Hall of Famers. You both share that distinction in the Canton head coach and yourself. And, just being recognized by your colleagues, being, to get, have that kind of, an honor bestowed on you. I'm sure it's pretty special to you and special to the team, to the school, and to everyone involved.
Yeah, it's definitely an honor that is a cumulative honor. It's not just my award. It was something that everybody that's ever been a part of this can share in. So it's special in that regard for sure. For sure.
Yeah. And your thoughts just on the Coaches Association. I had an opportunity to see a lot of you at the convention that was held in January. And it just looks like a really great group that all just want to help each other and grow the game.
For sure, the Michigan High School Baseball Coaches Association as a whole it's just a great organization. The way that they honor athletes with postseason awards, the opportunity to play in games like Comerica Park, expanding those opportunities to be able to play in multiple opportunities now, have 2 games, do things like honor coaches for the High School Hall of Fame, getting it in Comerica Park, things like that. That's big time, and I really appreciate being a part of this organization. Early in my career, I think it was my first year, I decided I was just going to become a lifetime member because I knew this was something I was going to do forever. And it's just a great decision that I made, and I'm happy with that decision. I'm really happy with all the years I was able to attend the clinic, the camaraderie of meeting coaches that you don't see but maybe once a year, former teammates, and then meeting the new coaches and the young guys and getting to just kick back and talk baseball for a weekend. So it's a great opportunity.
Well, Coach, congratulations on all the success you've had and the fact that you've been a part of the program for so long. I want to wish you guys the best of luck as you kind of prepare for the stretch run. I'm telling you, this weather is going to improve, and you guys are going to get those games in, and you'll be ready to go once playoffs start, which is not far from now. But thanks. I know you got practice, so thank you so much for taking the time today, joining us on the dugout, and we'll talk to you soon.